Imagine this is you. You were born in Kenya 31 years ago. Now you're a single mother of 3 children, ages 2, 5, and 7. You earn 16,000 Kenyan shillings a month, which is around $100. You can't afford to feed your kids meaningful meals more than once per day because 70% of your income is used to pay their school fees. You and your 3 kids live with your mother in a single bedroom apartment because you can't afford to pay rent. Every time any of your children fall sick, your only option is to go into the bush and cut herbs because you can't afford a hospital bill. In short, you are poor, broke, and desperate. Then one afternoon when you go to pick up your 2-year-old daughter at school, her class teacher tells you about a church where the man of God can pray for money to appear in your bank account. It's called Miracle Money.
Declare miracle money right now in your pocket, in your bank, in your account.
Receive the miracle money in the name of Jesus.
Receive miracle money. Miracle alert.
Prayer for instant money miracle.
Somebody said miracle money. Say it again.
See, there's miracle money for you, even today and throughout this week.
Miracle alert! Let angels begin to put money in your accounts.
I have an important question for you. Assume for a second that you're the woman I described at the beginning of this video. How likely are you to reject an invitation to a church where a pastor can command money into your bank account? My answer to this question is coming shortly. Please, if you see a video clip of your pastor anywhere in this video, I am not implying that your pastor is going to hell or that everything he preaches is wrong. I simply disagree with some of the statements in the video clips I quoted, and I may agree with a million other things your pastor has to say. So, please don't be offended. Second, if you think anything I have to say in this video is wrong according to your spiritual understanding or personal experiences, then you are right, and I'm wrong. Third, I will not at any point in this video claim that it's a bad thing to give money to a church, that every pastor in Africa is fake, or that miracles don't exist. Instead, in this video, I will try and answer these questions. Why is it so easy for many African pastors to make their congregants believe that God will only make them rich if they could give a pastor money first? Why are there so many Africans who are expecting God to send money to their bank accounts? And lastly, how does this miracle money mindset negatively affect young Africans in their pursuits of true wealth?
Anyone who is not paying his tithe is not going to heaven. Full stop.
You must give that offering and you are refusing. You will die. Stand up. I don't want you seated. You're refusing to give that offering and you're refusing. You will die. You will die. Ma'am, you will die. Witches will kill you. You will die.
Never marry a lady who don't pay tithe. She will bring a curse into your life. Never marry a man who don't pay tithe. You bring the curse of the Lord into your life.
I want you to sow a seed of 50,000 naira.
Jesus! Jesus! Jesus!
The money is coming.
Power, 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 power. Power, 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 power.
The days we're living in are very dark days. There are false prophets living among us, and Christians do not care. I would like to start my presentation.
I was born into a Catholic family in a little Nigerian village called Oyoadio in 1986. Unfortunately for me and my angelic mother, I was born with sickle cell disease. Being born with sickle cell disease means falling sick. I mean terribly sick, as often as 2 times every month, each lasting about 5 days. I hated life and always prayed that God should just kill me. My brain cannot recall how many times I was absent from school as a kid, but I remember that I couldn't have a normal life like other boys. I must not run, play hard, or play sports. I must not be in the rain or drink cold water. Teachers must not beat me, except they were prepared to bury someone. I'll be honest with you, I like this part. In 2000, my elder brother, who was also born with sickle cell disease, died, and a medical practitioner told my family that I was likely to die too, just as my brother did. I heard her talking about my death because I was hiding behind the door while she talked with my family. Knowing that I was going to die soon, I became extremely happy. You may ask, why were you happy that you were going to die? Well, up to this point, I've spent most of my life knowing just one thing, and that was pain. So death seemed like a good thing. But then, when I was 17, I noticed that my health drastically changed. I stopped falling sick like I used to, and a few years after that, I started going an entire year without visiting the hospital. Around December 2020, when I was 34 years old, I went to see a sickle cell doctor in Lagos, Nigeria, and told him my story. He said it was not medically possible that I'm a sickle cell patient. I don't use any drug and have not had any serious crisis in more than 1 decade. So he asked me to go and run like 17 billion tests. I ran all the tests he asked me to run, and the test shows that I'm still sickle cell positive, even though I no longer have sickle cell crisis. Until I find a medical explanation for what happened to my health, I'll believe that it's a miracle. The reason why I told you my personal story is because I want you to know that, like many people who would see this video, I'm a Christian. Like many of you, I've been a member and even a worker in 3 different churches in my lifetime, and I'm still a member of a church till this morning. Like many of you, I believe in God and I believe in miracles. But, I don't believe that to make money or become rich, you have to sow seed, give money to a pastor or a god, as many African preachers say.
God comes to me every week. It's that frequent now. I say, give this person 500,000, give that one. Because all I have and all I am is his. Meanwhile, you will not get to where I am if you don't start from tithing. Tithing is the O-level requirement to prepare you for consecration.
Your release to God is the point of contact of your receiving from God.
We are not asking you to give so the church can be blessed. We're asking you to give so you can be blessed. The church is a blessed body.
So as we cross over into the other year, this is your instruction number 2. If you are wise, you already know this by the Spirit of the Lord, that this is what you do and this is what you ought to do, which is to prepare a seed that you give unto God. So the first thing that you do as you cross over into this year, you sow a seed.
You will bring a seed, either 7,000 or 5,000, wherever you are. Just get up.
I hear in my spirit that I should take a seed from you. It's your seed for the next level. And I'm going to ask you to give in dollars. I'm helping you. I'm helping you. So that from now on, Naira will be the least of your currency.
I will touch you. The only way the grace functioning in me will work for you is that you come and bribe my angels.
To easily understand how fraudulent some of these preachers are, we have to do 3 things. First, I want us to see how people who were rich in the Bible made their money. Second, we will compare that with how people who are rich in our world today make their money. Then we will compare these 2 with how African pastors claim that their congregation can make money. From Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible, to Revelation, which is the last book, we can see at least 10 rich people. You have Abraham, Job, David, Solomon, Joseph, Boaz, Isaac, Jobab, Zacchaeus, Lydia, and maybe a few more. All these people got rich in 3 different ways: business, politics, and inheritance. For example, Genesis chapter 13 verse 2 says Abram had become very wealthy in livestock, in silver and gold, and no, he has never paid a tithe. Even the word tithe has not been mentioned in the Bible up till this time. Acts chapter 16 verse 14 says Lydia got rich by being a trader of purple clothes. Job chapter 1 verse 3 says Job owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 teams of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and many servants. Genesis chapter 26 verse 12 says Isaac got rich by being a successful farmer. Then you may be wondering, why did these people get rich rearing sheep or goats or having a large farm? Well, livestock and farming was the computer software and e-commerce of 2000 BC, so if you could figure out how to do them on a large scale the way these guys did, you'll be rich. Then another question, why would you be rich? Answer, you'll be rich because you're providing value to a lot of humans. I don't want you to forget this statement because it's very important for our discussion. Value equals money. No or little value equals poverty. It's the law of wealth. 2 Samuel chapter 8 from verse 1 to 14 shows how David got rich. The guy was a politician and a warrior. The value he rendered to his nation was his military and leadership skills. Joseph was also a politician. He became rich by being a political leader in Egypt. His wealth came as a result of his talent as a dreamer and his wisdom and leadership skills that rescued an entire nation from famine. While he was hardworking himself and created more wealth, Solomon inherited the equivalent of $6 million from his father David, which is an example of inheritance. Again, there are 3 different ways people made a lot of money in biblical times: business, politics, and inheritance. Now, fast forward to the 21st century, the law of wealth still doesn't seem to have changed in any way. Aside from stealing, the richest people in the world still make their money through business, politics, and inheritance. Back to business. While the word business is synonymous with creating physical products or services, in our modern world, this guy, and all the people I'm showing on your screen now are business people because they provide value to the marketplace, be it music, entertainment, art, or even your exceptional service as an employee to a very profitable company which end up giving you a part of the company. The point of this entire video is that from time immemorial, the only way God designed that people become rich is by providing value to other humans. If you can figure out how to create something that is perceived to be valuable to a lot of people, these people will directly or indirectly pay you, and the more of these people you can reach, the wealthier you'll become. The value you create can be a physical product or service, but it can also be your ability to sing, write, speak, lead a company or a country, lead people to fight in wars as a general, win elections, or deceive people. Yes, you heard me right. If you can deceive a lot of people to believe some lies, you'll be rich because by deceiving these people, you've created a perceived value. How do you think this guy, this beautiful lady, and many more fraudsters who were never caught became billionaires? Does that mean I'm encouraging you to go and become a fraudster? No. The point I'm making is that money is not a spiritual thing, or else only spiritual people would have it, right? However, many African pastors try to make their followers believe that money is a spiritual thing that God sends to only his children.
Listen to me. Money is a spirit. I'm talking now. Money is a spirit.
Let money enter your phone now.
That kind of money, that alert, that is called 10 years in 1 year. Receive it right now.
Money started coming out from my tummy like, this is unbelievable. And I started vomiting.
By making people believe that money is a spiritual thing, these pastors can succeed in making them believe that they would only become rich if they please God, and the way to please God is to first give money as a seed to a pastor.
Your seed has the power to change your story. Your seed has the power to take you to the next level. There are places you cannot get by your intellect, your skills, your talent, but your seed has has the ability and the power to take you there.
Anytime you cast your seed into the lives of men that God has anointed, something is provoked in the realms of the spirit to bring blessings, multiplication, increase, deliverance in your personal lives.
Grab a seed of 1,000. Grab a seed of 1,000. Grab a seed of 1,000. If you have it, move forward.
If I'm having issues with finances, I don't bother how much I need. How much I need may be in 6 digits and many 6 digits. What I do now is, instead of contemplating how those 6 digits will come, I go to the secret that makes money available. And sometimes I deploy covenant. When I give a seed to somebody that represents something in God, something is mobilized because I honor that protocol.
God is giving you a beauty. But I saw 10 people God is going to raise. And these 10 people are going to give you $100,000 each. Wow. This is not me hearing the voice of God. This is me now challenging you from 44 to 70,000. You will sacrifice a seed of 70. 70,000 these people are going to sow.
There are things that you need to do that you don't need prayer before you receive your millions. There are things that you need to do. You don't need fasting before you receive your millions. Can I go ahead? Secret revealer. One thing we call it seed. A seed. A seed.
Let's for a second agree with these pastors that money is a spiritual thing, and the way to make it is to first give some money to a pastor. If these claims were true, then it would mean that every person who is rich in our world today, or let's say most of them, has followed such a principle. It means that Bill Gates prayed to Jesus before he became a billionaire. Elon Musk went to church 5 times per week before he became a billionaire. Or Richard Branson and Warren Buffett sowed seed with some pastors before they became billionaires. It must also mean that every one of the millions of people all over the world who are either millionaires or build successful companies that make them good money does any or all of the things we mentioned above. Do you really believe that garbage? The simple way to know this is a deception is to look up the list of the 1,000 richest people in the world and ask yourself, honestly, how many of these people are Christians? How many of these people sowed seeds to a pastor before becoming rich? How many of these people even believe there's a God in heaven?
What do you worship?
Well, I don't really worship anything, but I do devote myself to the advancement of humanity using technology.
Do you pray?
I don't. I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria. Time combined to become more complex and arrived at what we are.
My question actually had to do with, do you know and believe in Jesus Christ and have a personal relationship with Him?
No, I'm an agnostic, and I grew up in a religious household, and if you'd asked that question of my mother or father, you'd have gotten a different answer. But and I'm a true agnostic. I'm not closer to either a theist or an atheist. I simply don't know, and maybe someday I'll know, and maybe someday I won't. But that's the nature of being an agnostic.
Are you religious?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
And they said, "You're going to hell," and I go, "I can't. I don't believe in God."
No. There never was a God.
Do you believe more or less in God since the day after your conversation over dinner?
Well, look, I believe in evolution, and I think evolution is magnificent. I mean, absolutely wonderful. And I think this world that we live on is magnificent, and the creatures on it are magnificent, and we've got to fight to save the tigers, and save the lemurs, and save the imperiled species, and look after the people that are on this earth. I do think that religion has done a lot of harm over the years, and just because one's born in one country and not another country, one shouldn't necessarily think that our God is the right God and somebody else's God is the wrong God. So I see myself as a humanitarian who loves people. Maybe one day somebody will be able to convince me that there is a God.
Does that mean you should become an atheist if you want to be rich? No. The point, however, is that If Elon Musk, who is the richest person on earth, doesn't pray or believe in God, do you think he became a billionaire by sowing seed to some pastors? If Warren Buffett, with a net worth of more than $100 billion, George Soros, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, and Zuzu, who are multi-billionaires, either don't believe in a God or don't know if there's any God, do you think they became rich by paying tithes? The truth about money and wealth creation is that it doesn't have anything to do with giving your money to someone first. Wealth creation has a principle, a law that is as predictable as laws of physics or law of farming. For example, if any human throws an object up to the sky, such object is coming down according to the law of gravity. Does it now mean that if a Christian, a Jew, or an atheist throws that object, the object will behave differently? Take another example, planting corn, yam, or cassava. Do you really think that God allows Christians' corn to grow and atheists' corn not to grow? Do you really think that if an atheist follows the law of farming, his yam won't grow just as that of a Christian? Take another example, reproduction. It doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu, or an atheist. If you sleep with a woman at the appropriate time, you will have a baby, except there is a medical condition, and that can happen to anyone, regardless of their faith and spirituality. Now think about this for a second. God created a world in which atheists and Christians can all plant seeds, and those seeds germinate and multiply. God created a world in which Hindus and Muslims can follow the law of reproduction and reproduce another human. God created a world in which any human, regardless of their faith or no faith at all, can create, manipulate, and incorporate substances and materials in the universe by following the law of physics. But then, God decided that the law of wealth would only be for Christians, and it would mean that they give a pastor some money before they get a lot in return. I need more IQ to understand that. But there's one more thing. My second argument is this. If truly the way to build wealth is to be a Christian or give your money to a pastor, why is Africa so poor? According to Christian Today, Africa is the most religious continent in the world and also the most Christian continent, and at the same time the poorest. How do you explain that? Well, there's an explanation for that. In this 2010 study, Gallup poll surveyed 114 countries and ranked them according to how religious they are. The study found that the more religious a country is, the poorer they are. For example, countries like Bangladesh, Niger, Yemen, Indonesia, Malawi, Sri Lanka, etc. that have 98 to 99% religious observers are the poorest countries in the world, while countries like Sweden, Denmark, Japan, United Kingdom, and France, etc. that have 15 to 30% religion observers are the richest in the world. But wait, does that mean that religion is a bad thing? No. Does it mean religion by itself makes people poor? No. Instead, the reason why religious people are more likely to be poor is that they are more likely to believe lies about life and money. For example, many religious people can easily believe that if they are overweight, all they need is the prayer to lose weight.
Kana uri overweight and you are struggling with that. You want to lose weight. What the Holy Spirit is doing is instant. Some are going to lose 5 kgs, some 10 kgs, some 20 kgs. Right now. Right now. Unnecessary weight on your body, it is dissolving now. It's going now. It is being lifted now. Lifted now. I command every fat to burn. Fat burn. Fat burn. Fat burn. I command your body to shrink. 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 Receive a miracle now.
These people can even believe that if they need a certificate, they don't have to go to a university. They can easily pray and God will send them a certificate from Harvard University.
You receive certificate here, did not go to that school at all. She doesn't know that school. Never been to that school. She received not 1, 2. One came today, after a few months, another one came just to prove that God does not make mistakes.
Many religious people are more likely to believe that if, for example, they need a passport to travel abroad, they can just ask their pastors to pray and the passport will appear. In the same way, religious people are more likely to believe that if they want money, all they have to do is to cry to God.
I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire. God of money, give me more money.
They might believe that it's angels that send money to people's accounts and cause them to become millionaires.
Father God, we ask you to see to it that you will send your money angels on assignment down to your child to cause them to boom financially.
They are more likely to believe that wealth doesn't come from education, connection, or struggle.
Wealth is not necessarily struggle. It's not necessarily education. It's not necessarily connection. If it belongs to God, then God gives it to whomever He wants to give it to.
By believing all these lies about life and wealth, many religious people are more likely to focus on the wrong things. For example, religious people are more likely to spend several days praying for money instead of reading books about money. Religious people are more likely to go to the mountains and fast for money instead of taking risks to start some businesses. Religious people are more likely to believe that if they could give some money to their church, they'll be rich, instead of thinking about how to create some value. In my country, religious people go to church on Monday mornings, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning because their pastors tell them that it's God that makes people rich. Because religious people are more likely to believe lies about money, they are more likely to be poor. If by now you've hated me for suggesting that money isn't a spiritual thing, then listen to my third and last argument. If you've been in church for as long as I've been in church, or even if you've listened to pastors more than twice in your lifetime, you must have heard a pastor telling you that God is your father. Pastors, including African pastors, say this all the time because all through the Bible, God tells us that He is our father. Okay, now I have an important question to ask you. If God is your father, why does He need you to give Him something, example money, before He gives you such a thing in return? I'm a father of 2 children, and many people that will see this video are fathers. I need you to be honest with me. How many of you fathers would wait for your child to give you something before you give them what they need? If you're such a father, I regret meeting you, and I want you to stop watching this video now. At this point in the video, I would like to remind you of the story I told at the beginning of this video. It's the story of a single mother of 3 kids. The woman is poor, broke, and desperate. As a result, she goes to a church where the pastor is said to have the power to command money into her bank account.
If I be the son of prophet Jeremiah,
Si je suis le fils du prophète Jérémie au
from
prophète,
now till 7 days,
en l'espace de 7 jours,
I speak to your account.
je déclare dans votre compte bancaire.
Miracle allowed to come to your account.
In his 1976 book, A River Runs Through It, American professor of genetics Norman MacLean wrote, "It's hard to think straight from an empty stomach. It's difficult to use your head when you're desperate, hence, the reason why such a woman will believe anything. Usually in Africa, the next thing that would happen for this woman is that she will become a member of such a church, and from there, she will hear sermon upon sermon about how if she wants to be rich, she must sow seed and give money to the church."
See, I want to say it today. Make us talk. Anything will go happen, I make it happen. As I saw that thing that will happen tomorrow, let it happen now. What then had this Bible verse? It's been long they started deceiving us with these Bible verses of judge not so that you not be judged, and touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Don't say evil against the man of God. So. Let me tell you people, if you're a pastor in Nigeria, you are a fraudster. In fact, you're worse than a Yahoo boy.
Jesus!
people are all scammers. How can your members come to church and the only motive you have in mind of coming to the same church is to drain them their pocket? You make sure that no single member lives with a dime in his or her pocket. First fruit harvest, first fruit offering, development offering, first offering, offering of the week. Pastors, people are fear God. How can someone come to your church this week with 50,000 naira and then leave with an empty pocket? The other one I went to the other day, the pastor said, challenge God, dip your hand into your pocket, empty your pocket. Things in your pocket, come and give to God. Trust Him. Walk home. Even if your home is 10,000 miles from here, walk home. Challenge God. On your way home, you meet a blessing. That's why everybody come out all the money where they get, come put for altar. Small thing, I had only 50 naira in my pocket. I almost dropped it. That was after I've given more than 1,500. First offering, development offering, first tithe offering, offering of the week, pastor's food, this and that.
As we've proved in this video, since giving money to another human doesn't necessarily make you rich, such a woman would just end up being poorer. As I said at the beginning of this video, my objective is not to discourage you from giving money to your church or pastor. I'm a member of a church in Nigeria and I give money to my church. I even donate to a church I'm not a member of. But I also know that I will never be rich because I give money to a pastor. I will only be rich if I think hard, work hard, and create something of value for other humans. That's the whole message of this video. Again, if you think your personal experiences or spiritual understanding contradicts anything I've said in this video, you're right and I'm wrong. Thanks for watching and God bless Africa.